Obviously, the big topic right now is about Saquon going down. I'm just curious, what was that like for you? You've obviously had a chance to get pretty close with him since you got here, and what's it been like seeing him go through what
Well,
he's doing?
yeah, I just think it's a tough deal for anybody to go through. My heart is with Saquon now, but the one thing about that guy, because of the way he works at things, I have no doubt that he's going to make a fast recovery. It's unfortunate that it happened, and he was looking forward to doing some big things this year. But now the next challenge is he's got to rehab, and I know he'll attack that like he attacks everything else.
And then now, obviously, until you guys add anybody else or whatever, Dion Lewis and Wayne Gallman are the guys on the roster. What's your confidence level in those guys? What do they bring to the table in terms of their skill sets?
Well, I have a lot of confidence in both of those guys. Those guys, they're on the team for a reason, and each individual have his individual talent that he's good at. So my thing with those guys is that we just got to find a way to put them in the best situation that they could utilize their abilities. I like Wayne a lot. Wayne has grown a lot since I've been here. He's a heavier runner than Dion. He's probably more of a one-cut speed runner, whereas I've been nothing but pleased with Dion Lewis. Dion Lewis is an ultimate pro. He's always well prepared, and he plays a different kind of game. He's got body quickness, and he knows how to maneuver in tight spaces. He utilizes his body structure, and he utilizes his awareness of the game to make players hurt. Make things work for him. Like, I think he did a great job filling in for Saquon last Saturday.
You've coached a lot of great running backs over the years. I'm sure you've seen your share of bad injuries, but what can you tell Saquon, or what have you told him, from coaching the Derrick Henrys and Mark Ingrams of the world about like what it takes, and just the fact that there's something on the other side of this?
Well, first of all, obviously it's unfortunate what happened to him, but the immediate conversation both Saquon and I had was that, all right, so this happens. Nobody expects this to happen, but I told Saquon that he's built. If it had to happen to him, he's built for this type of challenge. Because the challenge for him is gone from improving as a football player, all right, the technical part that he was working on daily, now to getting engulfed in his rehab. And knowing this guy's personality and knowing his work ethic, he's going to attack it, and it's just going to be a matter of time. I think you're going to see a quick recovery from this guy.
What kind of demeanor was he in when you talked to him? I would imagine he was, is probably struggling with it.
Well, obviously, very disappointed, like we all are. When that happens to you, you never expect that to happen, but you are aware things happen like this in this game. So I think he's such a professional that he was, it's a hard challenge, but he's kind of moved on. It's like, okay, now what's next? What's next? What do I have to do to get myself ready for next year? All right, we've already known that he won't be back until next year. So in between, what do I do? So his attitude was very good about that.
And then I know you guys are working out Devontae Freeman today. What element of the run game do you miss? I know he does a lot, but what element do you miss most that you need to replace that Saquon gave you in your guys' scheme?
Well, Saquon is very unique. He was an explosive back. He could hit the home run, I always say. He was a big back that could get the dirty yards, 4 and 5 yard runs. But there was always a threat of him, hitting a home run, taking it to the distance. All right. So, so everybody have their certain talent level that, we're talking about Wayne and Dion and whoever else we may bring in here. We just got to reassess as far as how do we utilize those guys. We got to put those guys in position to use their abilities that could help us be efficient on offense now.
How did you coach Saquon through the frustration of week one? Obviously, he was hitting the backfield a lot, so there was a lot he probably couldn't control. But how did you coach a player who was used to hitting those home runs through a week where he only gained 6 yards on the ground, which is not something, he's accustomed to in his football career.
Well, I think we approached it the same way that we approach any good or bad practice. The bottom line is that you're not always going to, we want these guys just to be efficient in every facet of the game. So, sometimes, you're not going to get the runs that you want. But I thought he was very good in the passing game. He was, and his job really is to help the football team win games. So we kind of centered everything on what did he do good. All right, now the next thing is obviously you got to talk about how can we improve, the run game as well. But the positive thing about, what Saquon brings to the table is that, there's a lot of challenges for him, not just the running game. So he made some improvement, not only, obviously in the passing game, but you can see him getting better in his protection game. So we kind of focus on those things, and we know that we have to, it's a matter of time, because guys like him, it's just a matter of time before he hits that next home run.
Burton, obviously any running back who comes to the Giants and knows Saquon Barkley is there, there's a certain expectation for what their role is. When you met with these guys in the room with no Saquon, knowing he's out, did you kind of have to readjust these roles and definitions and kind of almost move on from Saquon with a group that expects him to be there?
Well, I think it went unsaid. These guys are pros. The guys we have in the room, Dion and Wayne and Eli Penny, they're pros. So this is a way of life for them. They know injuries do happen, and they all disappointed like we all are. I mean, they felt, a lot of love for Saquon. I think we have a really good close room. So obviously they were disappointed, but they knew what their job requires. Their job is to move forward, and let's do the best that they could do. Figure out how we could use their abilities to help the team move forward.
And what do you have in the room right now? You had a bunch of complimentary backs, and now one of them, unless you sign someone else, which you might, he's going to have to be more of a feature. Do you see this as a complete by committee approach right now?
Well, I don't know. We're going to just, we're going to let it play out. I think we respect things that Wayne brings to the table. We respect with Dion. I think Dion did a great job filling in Saturday. So we just got to figure out what their qualities are, and we got to fit it into our offensive scheme and just be efficient. I mean, that's right now. All we want to do offensively is be efficient at every position. So the expectation is let's do what they do good.
Hey, Burton. I jumped on late, so I apologize if I repeat a question that's been asked. But curious, how did Wayne handle being inactive on Sunday? And obviously now, he might go from being inactive to having a big role.
Well, I think, these guys, I mentioned earlier, these guys are pros, and they know, this is part of the game. They understand how everything works. So, all of us would be disappointed, not to dress or whatever. That goes back to some of my guys in college, But, he's a professional, so he knows things like this happen. So he just had to refocus himself and move on to the next step. So I think he did a good job of just dealing with the circumstances based on his knowledge of how the game works.
And then I wasn't at the game on Sunday, but just come back to week one, I believe you were the only coach to kneel during the anthem. Just curious what went into that decision.
Well, I have my personal reason for that. I think things like that are personal.
Hey, Burton, sorry about that.
It's all right.
Like Dan, I was a little late to this, so if I ask you something that's already been asked, I apologize. You guys have spent 7 months with one idea of how your room was going to settle up and how you're going to move forward. How jarring is it to have to deal with it over the last 48 hours to figure out, okay, this was plan A, you may have always had plan B, C, or D, but how do you guys kind of rally everybody together and kind of refocus on where you need to go from here? I know Joe always talks about sudden change, but this is certainly a sudden change that I don't think anyone could have anticipated.
Well, you know what? It's unfortunate that it happened, But I think the way we've dealt with it from day one, going back 7 months, is that, everybody understood that the possibilities of things like this could happen. So we always challenge each individual, all right, be yourself, all right. This is what you do well, let's work on it, all right. So in the case of both Wayne and Dion and anybody else who's in the room, let's just find the best way that you could help the team, all right. So let's identify what your talent level is. All right, so you know what? As unfortunate as it was, it wasn't unexpected because things like this happen all the time. So I think the mindset, that even you don't want to think about that, before things like this happen. But we always challenge those guys, be ready. Just be ready. Things could happen. So be ready to do your job. Just concentrate on what you do, all right, not what the other guy does.